What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron. It is time for New Music Friday, where I take a look at some of the upcoming music and albums and singles and stuff coming out throughout the week of March 16th. I give my thoughts and opinions on what I think we can expect from some of these new releases. And as always, there's a lot of stuff, so leave a comment below if I miss anything that you're looking forward to. And again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. For some reason, liking videos helps the YouTube algorithm. And it helps to notify people, because even though you might be subscribed or ring the bell icon on my channel, that doesn't mean that YouTube's going to notify you. So if you like it, I guess that helps increase the chances of being notified of my next video. So yeah, let's jump into some new music. Animate is releasing their newest album titled Heavener. It took me a really long time to get into this band. I tried basically all three of their albums leading up to their EP, The Sun Sleeps As If It Never Was, which is basically what won me over, and I've been excited for a new album ever since then, especially since the singles on this upcoming album are just so freaking sick. This could be an album contender of the year for me. They're so good. It's so good. And even though We've gotten 4 singles for this album basically over the course of about 9 months, so it's been a little slow. I still feel like the hype for this album is definitely there. A lot of people are excited about it. This is still kind of a small band, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this could be their breakout album. This one's probably going to be pretty big. Grin is releasing their new album, Suffer in Heaven. This is the follow-up or the part 2 album to their Suffer in Hell. This was, I don't know, man, I had a hard time liking Grin too. This is the first album that I liked from them, or the last one was the first album I liked from them. It even made it into my top 10 album of the year list of 2022. And I feel like this album I feel like it might be better. The last album was pretty dark, which is something I enjoyed. But I feel like these are going to be kind of a yin and yang album, just because, you know, heaven and hell, it's kind of different. I don't know. The storytelling in the last album was great, and I feel like this one's going to be a little bit more focused on the music. And because of that, I hope I like it. I don't know. Grin's kind of always up in the air for me, so we'll have to see. But I'm still definitely excited for this one. Gideon is releasing a new album titled More Power, More Pain. I absolutely hated the last album, Out of Control. It was just it was just garbage. I deemed it unlistenable when I did a review on it. I couldn't even give it a rating, not even a 0. It wasn't even something you can listen to. I feel like this album might be better though, just because the last album, I feel like they just didn't know what they wanted to sound like. They changed so much. They were changing their musical style, adding a little bit more of a southern kind of thing to it. And they also dropped their whole religious aspect to their album, saying they were no longer Christians, which is totally fine, but they acted like they finally got away from mom and dad and they were allowed to say cuss words, and they just said random cuss words throughout their last album. But I really hope that we've moved past that, because I love Gideon. I love this band so much. They're so good. Their first couple albums are phenomenal. Some of the best metalcore and hardcore music you can listen to. And I want them to go back to that, even if they're not Christian or if there's a little bit more of a southern kind of thing in there. I want them to go back to being good so bad. And because of that, I have high hopes for this album, but I'm not really expecting the best. We have a new single from Sylosis titled Deadwood. It's been a long time since I've heard this band's name, and I feel like that's a crime because they're so freaking good. And with the rise of UK metalcore and like just death metal, and the whole metal scene's kind of coming up again in the UK thanks to Bleed From Within and different bands like that, they're now becoming big enough and they're touring back over here in the US. I want this band to blow up too, because they're so good. They're so underrated. They only have like 200,000 listeners a month on Spotify, and Bleed From Within is like in the 800,000. And I feel like they're just so good. If you haven't listened to Sylosis and you like Bleed From Within, definitely check them out, because it's a crime how people just don't know about them. We also have a new single from Bury Tomorrow titled Begin Again. I feel like this band has been doing everything right with their lineup changes, losing their vocalist and a couple other things changing. I feel like they're moving in a very positive direction. Their last album, I feel like the vocals were what a lot of people didn't like. And now that they've made the proper switches, I feel like it's going to draw those people back in. We're going to keep the same fans and we're going to make some new ones, which is always good. And not only that, but their music is just, it's so fresh sounding. It's just there. Like when you're like, okay, what do these guys have to offer? You listen to the last couple singles and it will definitely get your head bobbing because it is so good. We get a new album from The Devil Wears Prada titled Reaching, which is like a deluxe song that they're releasing on their deluxe version of Color Decay, which I went into the album expecting to not like it whatsoever, if I'm going to be honest, but it was fantastic. So with that said, I don't know what to expect from this song. I feel like it's going to be great though. Their album before that, The Act, was my first album I ever reviewed on this channel, and it was a very negative review. But then they released Z2, and basically everything after that has been fantastic, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. They seem to really be on top of it and making good music again. We also have a new single from Atreyu, titled Watch Me Burn. I feel like this band is so far from what they used to be in terms of producing good music. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like they could make a heavy hitter, but it's just radio play stuff at this point. It's one of those bands where they're just making money and they're just filling up stadiums, and they're going to keep doing what they're doing because that's where the money's at right now. They're not going to get too creative. They're not going to throw anything like, they're not going to do anything too crazy, you know? It's all going to be just kind of basic standard riffs, a lot of over-producing on the music, and basic drums, and really boring lyrics, and just hooky lines that don't really mean anything. They're kind of like a cover band of what they used to be at this point. And speaking of bands that are kind of along the same lines, we have a new single from Avenged Sevenfold titled Nobody. They're kind of like the Metallica of metalcore, but I feel like they've gotten a lot worse than Metallica has. Their overall sound just hasn't aged well at all, and by sound, I mean the vocals. I love M Shadows. Yeah, that's his name, right? M Shadows. I love M Shadows. It's just his vocal tone. It just hasn't changed over the years, except for the fact that it's gotten a little bit more wore out and not quite as powerful. And with that said, it just means it's gotten more whiny over the time. Musically, they still got it. They're fantastic. They can still write really good music. Sinister Gates is a fantastic guitar player. The whole band is just so good. It's just the vocals. I hate to beat on the guy, but sometimes your weakest link is just one person, and I feel like in this case, that's what it is. They could definitely pull out another banger if they wanted to, but I feel like if they're going to, it's going to be the music that's going to carry them more than anything else, because I don't feel like the vocals are ever going to be as powerful and punchy and great as they used to be back in the early 2000s. And that is it for New Music Monday. Like I said before, if there's anything that you're looking forward to that I did not talk about, please leave a comment below letting me know what it is so me and everybody else can discover new music. While you're down there, also let me know what you want me to review next. And again, if you enjoyed this video at all, heck, even if you hated this video, feel free to give it a like or a dislike. And yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch it, especially if you hated it, because that means even more to me that you suffered through this. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you're having watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time. I was